Let us continue with our lesson and let's work with a view model for our login. So for that one, we need to extend a view model, and after we extend the view model, we have to create a tag. So for that, I'll use as a companion object and create a constant variable of our tag, which is of equals to, I think we just create a login view model. Just copy and paste it over here. So okay, so the next step is to create a network service, which is over here, and also a repository. So for that, what we'll do is we will create a private variable of our network service, and that's it's equals to, we have to create it from our networking, and it's dot create. So whenever we create the networking, we have to pass a base URL, and for base URL we'll use a UI build config and the base URL. So we have a network service, and the next step is to create a variable for our uh, login repository. So I'll just say login repo login repository. I think where is that one? Yeah, it's equals to login login repo login repository. So whenever we create a login repository, we need to pass a network service. So we have already created it. Just pass it here. And now, since we have created a network service and a login repository, let's create a function to login. And this login function, if you go to this repository, we have to pass a login request. So I'll just create a, let's see, login request for a login request, and it should return a live data, live data of a Kotlin coroutine. We will make use of suspend function, which is calling a live data scope, which is also coming from a Kotlin coroutine scope. So inside this, we will create a val of our data, and which we will call a login repositories. Login repository dot login, and we have to pass the login request. So this is the login request that we have to pass, and this will emit the data. So like we have to emit out the live data it's getting from the Kotlin coroutine scope, and let's emit it out. Right, emit the value. So what value we want to emit out is this data that we are getting as a response from our networking service. We are returning a response of a login response. So we have to get, sorry, login here. So we are emitting the response that we are getting out. So whenever after all of the we call this login repository, and whenever it's complete the request, and it will get back the data from the server, and we will emit out that one. So we have successfully created a view model for our login as well as a view model for our register and register view model. So the next step is to get started with our UI side. We will be working with our activity, and this has already prepared the data for our login as well as a register as well as a login. So next step is to work with the UI to how to show this data in our UI. So let's meet up in our next lecture, and we will first configure our register. We will be registering a user using our Android application. So let's meet up in the next lecture. Until then, have a great day.